Yo, what is up, loud and proud crowd? I hope you guys are doing absolutely fabulous today. Sorry if my energy seems a little down. I've got a bad headache coming on right now. We are back out here with the nasty red because, guys, even though I'm not feeling my best, we have to get moving on this truck if we want to ever see it completely done. So we are going to be continuing today on the head studs, rocker pedestals, the valve springs, the 60-pound valve springs, and the push rods. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Now, I'm not sure what all we're going to be able to get done, but I'm going to do my best to push through as much as I can. However, I'm going to be taking my time to make sure that I do things the best way possible, according to the way Jacob had showed me in yesterday's video. I believe that was yesterday's video. So be patient with me as I try to learn this, as I kind of film the time lapse, things that I want to try to point out. I'll grab the camera and let you guys know, different things and what I'm doing. Essentially, what we're going to do is follow this template, right? And basically, all we're doing, and this is the way Jacob told me to do it, he's like, basically what you're doing, you're not just going, one cylinder to the next per se, like under each valve cover to the next, just replacing everything in a row. You just follow that form and you do the head studs in the order that they tell you. And then if you come across another head stud, for example, that's like right there holding down a rocker pedestal. Once you come across another one of those, then you change out, your valve springs, your rocker pedestal itself, your push rods and stuff like that. But other than that, you just go in the order for the head studs as if we were only doing a job for those. And then if you come across another head stud, well, not if, when you come across another head stud that is holding down, those types of items, then you'll just swap those out while you're in there. So kind of the best way to do it if you're going to do the one at a time method. By the way, don't forget to go down in the description below and check out the nasty red build list. I finally got a build mod list down there in the description for you guys. Pretty much everything I could think of, I got down there. If you guys want to go check that out, definitely go and do that. Also, check out the topside creeper. That is on Amazon. I got a link right down there at the top of the description for you guys for that. And that shop light, I don't have that down there, but I should get that down there because it makes like the perfect lighting when working under the hood. It's not like an excessive lighting, but it shines just perfect to give you the lighting that's necessary to work on these trucks. Might take me a little longer than, Jacob, for example, but I'm gonna try to do my best to make sure everything is installed properly down to torque spec in the order it's supposed to be. So let's get to this right now. Okay guys, so really quick pit stop throughout this time lapse. I wanted to share something with you guys just because there were some people asking regarding the injector leak and the cause of that. And I just want to first off apologize to DAP for the original install. I'll tell you what we did wrong and I'll tell you why we messed up, and just to kind of clear up the fact that that had nothing to do with, a product defect or something like that. Not discredit them through a rookie mistake on our part. So these injectors, right, they hooked us up with these injectors and we installed them the first time. My dad installed them the first time. Everything was right, okay? He had taken them out, however, and reinstalled them 2 other times due to other things that we were doing. So we put them back in, now we got to take them out again, whatever. So let's get to the point. There was an injector leak in like 1 or 2 of the injectors. It was mostly just one of them more than the other, but there was in 2 of them. And what I just found out is in both of those, there was something wrong with the way that we had installed those. And it was just kind of a rookie mistake, like my dad had said in a video. He just didn't double check when he went to reinstall them again. And so what he had actually done, totally by accident, he just didn't think about it, was checking to make sure that the copper washer came out, and then checking to make sure he didn't double up a copper washer, or something like that, or in one of them didn't even put one on when installing the injector. So here's one of them that I just took out. There's just a minor leak coming from this injector as well. What do you see there? 2 copper washers. So that's just something I wanted to clear up, just kind of happened after taking them in and out, a handful of times, which really isn't the plan when you're doing this. You want to try to do it one and done, because every time you have to crush and then, take apart and then recrush certain washers and seals and take them apart and then redo it, you wear them out, when you do that. So when we had taken these out, put them in and out 3 times already, that kind of thing can just happen. So you just got to be careful. Okay guys, so let me kind of show you how you change out these push rods. Now, Jacob was explaining this to me and had no idea they would be this easy. I guess, like I said, I'm still new to this stuff and I can own up to that. but they seriously just, they pull out like that. That's how they pull out of there. They go back in just as easy. There's like a little spot you'll feel down in there as you set this in. It'll almost just like cradle. You'll kind of feel, it won't like snap in, it won't click in, but you'll kind of feel where it cradles down in there. It'll almost feel like magnetics, like see here? It kind of like releases. Look, watch my hand. Like it kind of like, yeah, so if that makes any sense, there'll be, just kind of feel around, and there'll be one spot down in there where it'll like cradle this push rod. Kind of favorite, I guess you could say. Kind of snap out of there. Now, if you were reusing the same push rods, you would want to make sure you use the exact same push rods in every single one that you take out in the same spot. But since these are brand new, it's not a big deal. You can use whichever one you want. They're all the same. All this stuff, links are provided in the description below, and a modification list for this truck for all the parts that we're using. So definitely go check them out. But here's the tool. It's from Torque Tools. This we also got through Diesel Auto Power. Website link is always in the description below. Great guys to work with. But so I got the rocker pedestal out, okay, and I got the new push rods put in, which you don't have to put them in first to do this. I did. But basically this sits down where your rocker pedestal would sit, right? And then you've got this small screw right here, and there's going to be a screw hole right down there where you will take out this one, which is the shorter of the two that come out of your rocker pedestal. One's your stud or your head bolt, and then there's the smaller one. A small bolt will thread down in there, and that's going to keep this base down here that you're threading down onto, keep that sturdy for when you take this bolt and run that down to compress your springs, so you can take those real small clips out. You're going to take your socket, and I believe it's a 15 mil, I could be wrong. And this is also a very key thing. This is a snap-on tool. It's basically like a dummy injector that threads down in there, and basically what you do is you hook up your big air tank to that. You want to have a decent sized air tank to keep that pressure, but you hook that up to this, and that one's always left on, so if the pressure starts to get low, it kicks back on. Keeps a little valve pin or whatever the thing is called, you know, in there from actually falling down in there and causing you some issues. It keeps the pressure in the cylinder at all times. And make sure it's centered up in there, and then just start tightening it down until the springs are compressed, and you can get those little clips out that are holding it in place. And that's pretty much all you do is you take off these keepers. There's two on each side. After you compress the valve springs about a ½ inch below their stock position, after that they come out fairly easy. And then just take off your old valve springs. We have a box for all the factory parts right here. Grab your new valve spring. And then you're just going to take your Torque Tools kit, put it back on, compress the springs again. Make sure that these springs compress dead center over where you're going to have to put your keepers back on to hold them in place. And then after that, you're good with your valve springs. We just completed one more area of valve springs, push rods, and a head stud, and then just another bolt that was just kind of centering up the rocker pedestal, the new machined rocker pedestal from DAP. Yeah, so that's my first time doing any kind of head stud or valve springs or push rods or rocker pedestal. I think I did it perfect to the way Jacob did it yesterday. So cool, got everything reassembled, back down, torqued to spec. Now these are all going to be retorqued in the order that ARP recommends after everything's installed. Now we double checked every single one that we've done so far. Once it's to torque spec, then try it again, make sure it locks down and does the double click on the torque wrench here. So that's all good, but then afterwards, of course, we're going to go and double check everything and then triple check everything, but that should be good. Everything's solid there, everything's lined up. I took that tool out, the air nozzle, and seated the injector back in there just so it was hand tight, because we're going to have to go through again, and we're going to make sure everything is proper and is ready to go this time. I'm just going to keep on going along here, but that kind of gives you a gist of what you do. That was the valve springs, the push rods, the head stud. Make sure before you tighten down the head stud, you put the smaller one right here. You do that one as well, and you don't crank that one down in there. Just make sure it's threaded and it's started hand tight. And before you take a wrench to it, make sure that the head stud itself, the head stud bolt, which is, well, it's in the truck now, just make sure that's hand tight all the way down at the bottom. Then there's a little Allen head on top. Now all we do, ARP recommends hand tight, and then set your nut on there with some more of that stuff that they send you with ARP, that little packet of lubricant, and hand tighten that down on there. And then once that's on, then take your torque wrench and then just slowly go back and forth until it you hear the double click, and then do it one more time until it double clicks, and you're good. Instead of strictly hand tight, we took that Allen key, and as you can see, an Allen key fits right in the top of here, and I'll just demonstrate what we did. We just put it in there. We don't like wrench on the thing, okay? Once it's hand tight, and then we just kind of like, just so there's a little bit of lever, and just kind of like, just give it a little tap like that, just to make sure it's seated all the way down in where it should be snug. Also, before we put the head stud in, before we put the rocker pedestal on, we took a air nozzle and we blow out all the oil residue down in the bottom of that hole. Once you take that old head stud out, there's gonna be some oil residue and stuff down in there, just to make sure it doesn't interfere with the threading or interfere with the lubricant going on the end of the new ARP head studs. Just blow that air nozzle down around in there, make sure everything gets cleaned out in there, and you should be good to go. So I'm going to set up the camera here and knock out a couple more head studs, and then we're probably going to wrap it up for the day. Back on the iPhone again, just like yesterday's video. Camera died and memory card is maxed out, so I'm gonna have to use this for a little bit. Let's just get to showing you kind of what I did so far, and then where I'm gonna pick up on probably tomorrow, because I gotta wrap this up for today. Let me get this cover off right here. And I just kind of set these on when I was blowing the watery-ish and oil-ish mixed stuff out of the head stud holes after I take them out, clean them out, and then I seat the head studs down in there. The first head bolt that I took out to replace was this one right here. Took that out, took the rocker pedestal out, took the there's little keepers around the rocker arms right here. You gotta take those off and swap it out with your new machine down rocker pedestal. But obviously before you do that, if you're gonna change out the valve springs, what I did was I took my valve spring compressor, compressed them, took the keepers off, swapped them out, put those back. You guys saw that whole deal. This head stud done. Basically what I did today in terms of head studs was I did number 4 through 11. So if you look at the chart here, there's 4. What he had done at the time was just went directly to 1, 2, 3, since he had already done 5. And then today I did 4, and so on and so forth. So I did 4, then I just, since he already did 5, I went to 6, went to 7, then I went over, where is it at? Then I went to 8, 9, 10, then I did 11, and then I didn't do 12 yet, because 12 would mean this one right here, which means I'd have to do, another rocker pedestal. I'd have to do the valve springs again, and the keepers, and the push rods, and stuff like that, which isn't a big deal. It's just probably going to take another 45 minutes to do another set of those, and I don't have 45 minutes right now. But anyway, so that's what we got done today. Just more progress, slowly but surely. So I'm probably just going to set some, set some valve covers back over some of these that are, out hanging over. Or just throw some rags. That works too, as long as you don't have a bunch of junk on your rags. Take some rags and drape them over the stuff, just to make sure stuff's not getting dropped down in there while you're not out here. But anyway, so that's where we're at right now, and that's what I got done today. First time doing that kind of stuff. Obviously, on my own. There's nobody else out in the shop, and it's not bad at all. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I do want to give another huge shout out to Diesel Auto Power. Want to check out their website, we'll leave a link in the description below. And like I said, also there is a modification list now down there specifically for Nasty Red. So there's a list down there. You guys can check out what's been done, and everything that I could get and find links for, I used and put them down in the description below. So thank you guys so much. Go check that stuff out. If you have not yet done so, leave a like on this video, share with a friend if you enjoyed it, leave your comments down below, subscribe if you're new, join the team, join the family, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.